Pastor Hilary Wafula Wangira, and the senior pastor of Lumino Town Baptist Church. And as a senior pastor, I oversee all the ministries of this church. And we have other departments like Bright Hope. Bright Hope is an orphanage school mainly, and we were driven by the circumstances around where there were so many orphans, many children abandoned, and therefore that made us to think of as a church to open up a school to help those people who cannot afford the schools or cannot be admitted in public schools. So we have helped them since 2013 up to date, and we have seen a lot of fruits. Many children who would not go to school, they have graduated from here, from the highest grade is primary 7. Now they have gone to secondary school, and we have seen that as a success. Those who would not have had that, who would not have had that hope, they are hope. They have hope now. They were hopeless. And to support the orphanage through our partners, our friends like Jason, Chuck, and others, they have helped us to put up some other projects, which includes microfinance, the grain mill. They also bought us some land in order to produce food to feed the children, and the grinding mill as something that will, as a business, to get money to sustain the business, but also to donate to the school. And microfinance was supposed to benefit the caregivers, those who keep the children, and the community, that they may borrow some little money, do small businesses, and earn some money and sustain their families, but also support an orphan at the center.
I mean, Luke wrote it. That's what it is. Yeah, the right off. You have the right location. I have the right off. Man, all this is on the road to 13, yeah. 3 seminary degrees digging through the Bible.
From looking from 2014 to 2022, great things in Uganda have happened. Progress has happened.
How many of you have been here since 2013? Okay, so many of you have seen the changes. The first time I came to Uganda was in 2009. I remember a lot of overwhelming feelings that I had for being here. I grew up in America, where we would see on the TV visions of little African children. So when I landed in Uganda, I already had a way that I was looking at Uganda. And it took many years for me to change the way that I looked at Uganda. And to understand how beautiful your country is. How beautiful your culture is. And how beautiful the people are. And many of you have had to change the way you look at Misuris. Be constant in prayer
ohonya oluganda wundi
and seek to show hospitality.
ng'okonya ohonya obulayi bukhwanirisa oluganda.
Very nice.
My name is Lawrence Wanyama. I'm the principal of this school. Professionally, I'm a teacher and the school is Bright Hope Orphanage School, here located at the Baptist Church in Lumino, Busia, Uganda. The hope that we have, I thank you very much for that question. The ultimate hope is to get some of these orphaned children who would otherwise not have acquired education, attain education and become the change agents that will transform this society in all forms, economically, socially, so that even the generation of orphans is reduced and development is what is seen, mainly change agents.
I love that.
Well, my worries, although there may not be many, but a few still exist. The rate of transformation may be coming out, but slowly, because many more orphans are still available in the community, especially now with the COVID pandemic. Many people have passed on and have left destitute children, and they still have a need, so the number of orphans is still vast in the community. Number two, we have not yet built this school to the capacity that I visualized. We still have muddy classrooms, we still have a small compound, we still have a vast of needs. But those notwithstanding, I still have hope that we shall succeed.
So would you say that your hope outweighs your fear?
I would say so, yes. My hopes outweigh the fears.
I'm gonna miss you. The world is full of misery. And the road you've taken, there's no end. Come on, my friend, come back to me. Come on, my friend, 'cause I'm gonna miss you. 'cause I'm gonna miss you.
Yeah, we developed an idea as Bright Hope Orphanage that our plan is, long plan is sustainability. And we talked with our friends, Pastor Jason, who is always our advocate the other side, and we shared our thoughts about the future. And we developed an idea of having a land. And this land is kind of permanency of our school and our ministry. And as a resource, it would be like giving us food, and that ownership is very important. So when we developed that idea, Pastor Jason planned that I go to USA, and then we did the fundraising, and we got enough money to buy, and not just 17 acres, but instead we bought now 18 acres. Yes, land in Uganda is very precious, and everyone in Uganda is assumed to have a land, as where you originate. Even if you live in the city somewhere or in Kampala, you must have land at your family or in your village. Because normally if you live in Kampala, or whether you are built it somewhere in Kampala or you are living in a renting, when you die, they have to take your body home. Therefore, one must have land. So land is very precious. In addition to that, the land, mainly Uganda, is a farming kind of society. So most people depend on farming, and farming means land. So land is very, very important to us in Uganda. And as Bright Hope, having land like this one is a great, great resource. Yeah, for years. Yeah, because this will outlive me. I will die, but the land will remain for generations and generations. Well, after harvest, we will put some apart to sell, and apart to feed the children at Bright Hope. And we don't just sell maize, we grind at the grinding mill, so that the grinding mill we pay, then we will use the portion for the natural rain. So this is well, they're ready for harvest.
Before we got this land, feeding children used to be a lot difficult because it required buying food to feed them, and sometimes the food prices fluctuate, and when you have little money, maybe the money will not be able to buy the food. But with this land now, with this maize produced, feeding children isn't as difficult, except maybe when there is a fall in the season. But right now, like you can see from this plantation and the maize already harvested at school, we are sure this term the children will feed very comfortably. Because with the land here, and assuming the seasons will be good, we can be sure of continuity of the program without any interruptions. Even if the funding has a problem, we can still go on very, very well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, one challenge we face, but which does not outweigh the benefits, is plowing such a big piece of land requires the use of a tractor. Harvesting can be done by hands, but plowing it, if it has to be in time, planting in time, we use a tractor. Incidentally, this community here of Lumino and Busia has very few tractors. In fact, there was one cooperative tractor given by the government down that way, and we all compete for it. So sometimes we go make an order to come and plow for us, and sometimes they have to delay for 2 months. And when they delay like that, we're almost outside the season. And that delay sometimes makes us not to get the crops very well. So the tractor is the challenge. In the future, when God allows, if we can acquire our own tractor, everything will be a lot more perfect than this. Thank you.
This is Jason here at Bright Hope Orphanage. We've been here for a few days. Bright Hope Orphanage is a project of 1015 Foundation where we're building systems of sustainable economic growth. Here at Bright Hope, we have a little bit over 400 kids that we feed, educate, and give health care to every day that they would otherwise not have. The long-term goal is for us to work ourselves out of a job, us being 1015 Foundation. So we continue to invest, design, and implement programs that will create sustainability, and we're well on our way to doing that. As a matter of fact, it looks like we're maybe 2 to 3 years away from doing that. But right now, we could sure use your help. In the past, we've had a child sponsorship program where people sponsored a specific child, but we've ran into a little bit of issues concerning that. So what we want now is just anyone who could sponsor the orphanage, Bright Hope Orphanage, any amount, $5, $10, $20. If you want to do it every month, a one-time gift to continue to help sustain the children here as we create this foundation of systems and that will give the children hope for a future. Have a new way of being, a new way of seeing life. If you go to brighthopeorphanage.org, at the very top is a give. You can click on give and you can go in there and give any amount. The cool thing about that is every dime that you give comes straight here. No money goes to administration costs, no money goes to pay salaries on the American side. All the money goes here to feed, educate, and give health care to these children. So yeah, thank you for your consideration and thank you for watching this. Have a good day.